welcome back to the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast. The Rec Room Radio Hour podcast, and I'm your host, Michael Lundy, and we are going to take another look at the diverse and eclectic world of music here in the Susquehanna Valleys in central Pennsylvania. We have it all here, and we are going to sit down on this episode with Andromeda The Artist. She is going to talk about her album, Firewater, her muse, her inspiration, and her songwriting and recording techniques. It is a great hour of conversation and some wonderful music. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast. Hey, and welcome back to the Rec Room Radio Hour. I am your host, Michael Lundy, and welcome you back to the podcast. We are here with the artist Andromeda.
Hi there.
Hi, thanks for coming by the studio to talk with us. It is really good. We got your CD, about a week and a half ago, and it has been in heavy rotation. Listening to it, it defies genre.
Yes.
So is that something that is that what you're striving for, obviously?
I don't think I really thought about it a whole lot. I just kind of sat down and just started playing, and I think I surprised myself with what I was coming up with. And I'm a very explorative sort of person. I like to explore, and because I started off with the piano, everything for me starts with piano and voice. And I just play around with it, and then I had these other options. I have synthesizer, I have violin, drums, electric guitar. So I just threw it together until it started to sound right.
Well, it sounds really right. So let's go back to the collapsing. We'll use collapsing star. I'm trying to make an analogy with the Andromeda galaxy. Mm-hmm. So let's go back to the beginning of time, before the Big Bang Theory, and where did Andromeda start her musical journey?
I love it. So let's see. I started off when I was a child. I started playing the flute, and I was classically trained. I, would play all the great composers, Mozart and Vivaldi and all of that, and I excelled at music, and I was just obsessed with it, really. I wouldn't leave my flute for more than, a day. I would just be on it constantly. And when I was a little bit older, we had a piano in our house, and I just started to play around with it until it started to make sense to me. And I noticed that the sheet music at the piano had these letters right above the notes, and I asked my mother what that was, and she explained what a chord progression was and what a chord was, the first, the third, and the fifth note, and it just made sense. All of a sudden everything just made sense to me. It was more like remembering for me than having to learn it.
Now, is Mom a trained musician?
My mother is a trained musician.
Okay,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah, she plays the flute and the piano too. So
okay.
And so that's kind of it's in the genetics somewhere there. But
cool.
And because I would just start playing around with these chords, I would start picking out the melody of the song with the chords. But then I started to make up my own music with those chords, and I just thought, I could do something of my own, and I would just be obsessed. It was more of an obsession than really a training, and from there I just kept playing all the way through. I was playing in college. When I was in college, I had a keyboard, and I had finally my own free time. I could stay up all night if I wanted. Wish I did. I played all through the night, and I would skip classes and I'd be playing the piano, and
you were paying your dues.
Exactly. Oh, it was fun.
Yeah.
But, I had time on my hands then, and so I was just at it constantly, and that's where I learned the guitar. My roommate played the guitar, so she started teaching me, and I picked it up real quick.
Cool. Wow. So as we've established on this show, a trained musician is called a paper trained musician.
Right.
You are a paper trained musician on the flute.
Yes, on the flute.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Good. So have you been? How long have you been writing songs? How long have you been doing that?
It's been at least 15 years.
Really?
You know, ever since I was real young, and for a long time, I even thought I wanted to do music composition.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about going to school for film scores, and you know, for me, it's a little too formal, and it's like I said about the sheet music. I really, ultimately, don't want to be confined to sheet music. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't love having to look at the music and say, well, you have to play it exactly this way every time. I want to feel it, I want to be immersed in it, and I want it to be more of a psychological and emotional experience rather than a technical experience.
Yeah.
And that's why I went off and just explored this other process, which was just fun, and it was a more intimate process with myself and self-reflection. And yes, that's how I moved along with that.
Yeah. When I first listened to your CD, I listened to it on the road in the car,
Right.
and it was the word that first came to mind was cinematic.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So
Totally.
am I kind of
Totally.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Totally.
Isn't that when an artist can convey kind of their overarching theme, I guess, to another person, you know, hey, take that as a win.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely go for a cinematic vibe.
Yeah.
I want it to feel like it's about the atmosphere, and I really want the music to feel like it's tangential to reality.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, a lot of music talks about like real life. It talks about like a breakup or you know, living in this situation or that situation. And I really want people to feel like they have a fantasy world with Andromeda. It's more about the epic cinematic drama of the universe, and it's more about, you know, I imagine like the ocean, and I imagine mythology, and really the journey for me was very introspective, and it was very I mean, I would you know, put my phone away, I would turn off the TV, I would be alone for hours at night by myself while I wrote. And I had a very strict policy with myself of doing that, where I would just kind of detox from the world around me. And the idea was that I wanted to be free from the limits of the genres and free from the limits of, you know, what the trends were and what normal musician, I don't want to say normal, it's not the right word, but, you know, maybe the trends of music.
Yeah.
And so cinematic was something that I kind of came up with that as well. So that is perfect that we both arrived at that. But,
Yeah, Well, I was talking to somebody today, and I said, I'm interviewing Andromeda, and they said, well, what does she do, and what kind of music? And I was like, it defies genre.
Right.
I said, and then I was trying to think. I said, you know, I said, just check it out. I mean, because
Right.
it really does. I mean, it's different than anything anybody's doing in this area. I'll put it that way.
Thank you. Well, I take it as a compliment. I really appreciate hearing that. I love to know that I'm doing something that's new. And you know, everybody who has listened to the music thus far has said the same thing, that it is very fresh. It's definitely something that they've never experienced before in terms of music. And that's what I like to establish with the music.
Good. Yeah. Well, we have talked enough about the music. We're going to play a track off of your self-titled CD, Andromeda, Firewater, and it is the first song we're going to play is "Cries" from the Ravine. Set it up for us. What's it about? Where did it come from? What's the inspiration?
You know, Firewater really is an album about the ocean. It's about diving deep within, and I think Cries from the Ravine is a very melancholic song that ultimately just has kind of this tender moment. And I've always explained the music for me is feeling like this warm current at the bottom of the ocean. For me, it's about bellowing out something that comes very deep within, and that's why I chose to call it Cries from the Ravine.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take a listen to Andromeda from her album Firewater. And this is Cries from the Ravine on the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast.
Hey, do you crumble and you fall down to me? And hey, do you tumble and you crawl down to me? It's okay, I will always break you, fall down to me. So stay, 'cause you always stand so tall next to me. And hold me when I'm feeling cold. Say what you gotta say. It's okay, hey, it's okay, it's okay, now, hey, it's okay, it's okay, now, hey, it's okay, now, it's okay, it's okay, hey, do you crumble and you fall down to me? And hey, do you tumble and you crawl down to me? It's okay, I will always break your fall down to me. So stay, 'cause you always stand so tall next to me. Hold me when I'm feeling cold. Say what you gotta say. Me when we're all alone. Say it's okay. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Now, hey, it's okay. Hold me when I'm feeling cold. Say what you gotta say. Me when we're all alone. Say it's okay. Hey, it's okay now. It's okay. It's okay.
Cries from the Ravine from Andromeda's album Firewater. And yeah. Oh. So that's all you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
me.
tell us, or go through your process for recording, because that's spectacular. I mean, it really is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I really I ultimately start off with piano, the voice, and that song was just piano and voice for a long time until I started to think, you know what, I hear an orchestra around this, and I have electronic violin, and I have a drum pad, I have all of the electronic versions of instruments, and I really just layer everything on top of that, plus I have synth pad and all of that, so I can, some of those sounds in there that you can't really figure out what that is, that's a synthesizer of some kind, and I layer everything on top. It's just really a process of layering, and a part of an instrument might be playing underneath, but I lower the volume, and so it's always kind of going on underneath or around the sound, and it just kind of develops together, and I kind of want it to feel like it's melting together, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and everything was just played by ear, intuitively, kind of just put together, and it's not preordained. Like, I will start the process from the top, and I play it, and I add something, and I just kind of add something with the improvisation, and then I stop and I start again, and then I kind of do the same thing with a violin, or I'll do the same thing with some drums, and then I might add a second piano in there, or an electric guitar in there. So Cries from the Ravine doesn't have electric guitar, but it does have violin. It's primarily orchestral.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the process.
So this is kind of like a one-person freeform kind of a jazz thing. So you'll
Sure.
do a track, and you're kind of freeforming it. There's no
Totally.
Yeah. Oh, that
Totally.
is so cool. Okay,
Thank you.
so warning. This is a recording geek question. What recording platform do you use?
I use Logic Pro.
Logic Pro?
Yeah.
Okay. And you do all your own mastering and all that? Or?
That's right. Yep, I do all of it.
You do? Really?
Yes, I do all of it, and I do the recording with a condenser mic and all of that, and sometimes have to go down to the basement. That's why I'm nocturnal at this point, because the only time you can really record is at night.
Yeah.
It's too loud during the day.
Yeah.
So I just kind of block off space and kind of have an incubated space for myself, and I
Wow.
Take
That's
all of it.
incredible because so that everything from the from the writing to the recording to the mixing and mastering you're doing on your own.
yes, everything is.
That is impressive.
Thank you so much.
That is really impressive.
Thank you.
So let's can we hear another track?
Totally.
Okay. This one is what?
Prism of Light.
Prism of Light. Anything you want to set up before we play it?
Prism of Light is one of my favorites. For me, that song is the most freeing song. It feels kind of like flying over the ocean to me. It just feels very light. And I like to think of like a bird when I sing. And I remember once, not too long ago, I was looking outside and I saw these birds trying to fly against the wind. It was a very windy day. And they actually couldn't fly against the wind, so they were literally getting tossed around in the wind. And I think of that sometimes when I'm reaching those higher notes. I like to feel like my voice is kind of fluctuating and has a lot of flexibility to it. And with the song, I like to reach those high notes and really just explore the higher part of the song with the voice. And that's why it feels like such a freeing process for me, and it's one of my favorites.
Good. Well, Prism of Light off of Andromeda's Firewater album. That is, I mean, if you think Paul McCartney does this stuff good, she's doing it all, man. I don't think McCartney masters his own stuff. I'll bet you he doesn't. So enjoy Prism of Light from Andromeda here on the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast.
Take me away. I can't save me today. I will always be by your side. You will always be by my side. I thought you're feeling great, so I came back here to say that you'll always be on my mind. You will always be on your mind. And you go. So hard, you'll always be on my mind. Always be on my mind. I thought you would have given me, but instead you came to see me. You always drove me wrong. Oh, you always drove me wrong. And we slip away each day, but I guess that's just okay. You always fall in line. I always fall in line, and can't save me today. I will always be by your side. Oh, you'll always be by my side. I thought you would have given me, but instead you came to save me. You always find a line, yeah, you always find a time. And you go, and you always be on my mind, and will always fly so high. You'll always be on my mind. I'll always be on my today. I will always be by your side. Oh, you'll always be by my side. I thought you were engraved, so I came back here to say that you'll always be on my mind. Oh, you'll always be in my mind. And you go, and you see, you'll always be on my mind. I'll always fly so high. You'll always be on my mind.
Prism of Light. Oh my gosh. So good. So good. And we are talking with Andromeda here on the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast. I'm just blown away by the quality of your recordings.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. And so I want to get to a question that I've been wanting to ask since I came upon your stuff. Give us the background on Andromeda, the name.
The name Andromeda.
Or the concept. Now, is it,
Yeah.
is it a concept?
It's all of the above.
Okay.
I started out when I was a child. I was pretty obsessed with constellations, and I got really into them. I had I would have star charts in my pockets folded up, and I'd be studying them, and I memorized all the stars and all of that. And Andromeda quickly became my favorite mythological story. There's this story of she's a princess. She's her parents, who are the king and queen, they upset the gods in some way, and so they use her as a sacrifice.
They chained her to the rocks.
They chain her on the rocks, and
Yes.
For the sea monster to come and devour her.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, in the story, she gets saved by Perseus, but really for me, the story ends there with that motif and that vision of this singular woman on a rocket at sea. I love the idea and the concept behind the mermaid, and I see the parallel between those two characters. Mm-hmm. I think when I started writing music in college specifically, I felt as if I was in this vast universe of my own, and it felt as if I was surrounded by this turbulency or the chaos around me. I was in New York City at the time, and it was a very, very chaotic environment, and it felt like I was kind of surrounded by this emotional world. And I imagined the transition into somebody who mastered that element and became a part of it and embraced it completely, which is why I use the mermaid as my symbol. Mm-hmm. instead of being something very vulnerable in that place, to be something very much empowered and a part of that world, and to really full on embrace the emotionality of it, the psychological element of it. And I think for the writing process, that's really where I stay. It's kind of a semi-somnolent state. And as I mentioned before, I write throughout the night, and I have very nocturnal tendencies. And so a lot of my inspiration comes from the subconscious mind, and kind of this idea of delving back into the deeper brain, and the idea of having this mythological creature, and this mythology element to the music is really what is the vision and is the abstraction for me. And when I started to take the music seriously, I thought the most obvious name was Andromeda. I knew that would have to be the name, and there was no negotiation about it. It just has to be Andromeda.
Well, good. It's a great. I mean, it's a great name, and I'm
Thank you.
I had to do a little research on. I knew about the galaxy, and I knew about the Michael Crichton book and movie, but I had to look up the whole mythological thing. So
yeah, a lot of people don't know the mythology.
Yeah. But yeah, she was rescued by Perseus, and they married, right?
Yes, they got married.
Yeah.
And this is a neat element as well. I love the Medusa element. He actually goes to Medusa's lair, chops off her head, and in the story, he holds up the head of Medusa to the sea monster and turns it to stone. It just depends on the story, but and from a drop of blood from Medusa's head drops into the ocean, mixes with sea foam, and that's what forms Pegasus, and they fly off together. I just think it's a very beautiful story.
Well, yeah. The whole Greek mythology thing is just
it's epic. It's larger than life.
So you had kind of alluded to your writing process, and it's nocturnal and all that, which I can understand.
Right.
So how do you approach a song when you're writing it? Does it come in one fell swoop, or is it like pieces that you'll come back to? How does that work for you?
So the initial process of developing the melody and the rhythm of the song is pretty much in one big long musical session. Mm-hmm. And it's usually because I need to just let out some sort of emotional, energy that I have, or some mental energy. And I really just have to sit down at the piano regularly, just because it is catharsis, and Greek catharsis actually means to purify. So it is kind of a purifying process for me. And so when I sit down at a piano and I sing, it's really just, I'm just playing just very reckless abandon, and I just run with it, and it all just falls out of me.
We're coming back to the whole freeform jazz with one person, right?
Totally.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, totally.
Now, are you a writer that you have an idea, you have the structure, you have everything, and it's set, or do you play around with it? Do you take pieces from other songs or concepts and put in there? I mean, how does that work for you?
I don't think anything's ever fully set with me.
Okay.
I like to be open-ended with it,
mm-hmm.
and I will find myself pulling in elements from another song. I have a few songs on the album that actually do have the same chord progression, and I expand upon in different ways. And so it's really just whatever I feel like it needs to be. Mm-hmm. And yeah, nothing's really fully set until the end, and there's probably about 5 different versions of each song in the album.
Oh, cool.
And I, of course, settle on the one that I think is best, but, ultimately you do need to have a front runner for each melody, mm-hmm. So you do have to solidify the process.
So there's other versions of these songs. So when we have the box set come out, the 20th anniversary box set come out, will those see the light of day?
Maybe.
There'll be the bonus tracks on the album.
Right.
So is this your first album, or is this?
I do have an album before this. It's called Elephant.
Okay.
And that came out 2 years ago, and that was at the start of COVID, and that was just an experimentation process for me, and I think that songwriting session for me was more straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit more structured in the songs. This is probably more free-flowing as Firewater.
Okay. All right. So Firewater, and what I'm hearing is that, would you go on the 20th anniversary edition of this album? Are you going to go back and remix things? Are you going to go back and are you pretty happy with how? Are you going to be like George Lucas and go back and change the explosion at the end of the movie?
Yeah, well, I have heard that George Lucas does that.
Yeah, he does.
So I could see, if anything, the way film scores play out, where you will have a general theme, and at some points the music is just constantly flowing and just transitioning. I could see myself doing something like that and taking the songs and doing just kind of a very overarching, long spew of music, and maybe doing, maybe even just piano and voice for some of it. That would be fun to just simplify. I don't think anything for me is ever completely finished.
Okay. So so at some point, Cries from the Ravine, it will probably be like changed around a little bit just because you can.
Yes, and I actually do have an extended version of that song coming out soon.
Ooh.
So that will be in a month and a half, and that will be coming out. It's going to be a loftier version of the song. It's going to hit some high notes at the end, especially. And that one just took a little bit more time, and I felt like I needed to have both.
Yeah. Well, we have alluded to the cinematic scope of your music. We've alluded to George Lucas. You are a fan of cinema scores.
Yes.
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 What is your favorite cinema score?
Probably. So I have two that come to mind. The Village by James Newton Howard.
Okay.
And I also love the score to The Hours by Philip Glass.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yes. James Newton Howard, for me, with The Village, in general, James Newton Howard, he really just hits the melody perfectly. I mean, there's just this beautiful, haunting melody in The Village that is just unlike anything else I've ever heard, and I think he's exceptional. Philip Glass, I really admire his intensity with his piano writing. I really gravitated toward Philip Glass when I was younger, when I started playing the piano. And so, it's funny that I took this path of this cinematic undertaking with the music, but I also do have very firm roots with the piano. I love to improvise. I love to just do piano riffs and just a lot of intense piano like Philip Glass. And I thought for a long time that would be my personal choice with the music. But then, of course, I went bigger. So
yeah.
That's
well, I mean, interesting. Those two composers came up because in thinking back on listening to this, yeah, I can hear both of them in there. I can hear Philip Glass and that. For lack of a better term, that avant-garde kind of motif, and I'll be honest with you, I am not. My familiarity with Philip Glass is through Paul Simon.
Okay.
Him and Paul Simon and Philip Glass did a couple of songs on one of Paul Simon's albums. That's where I know Phil Glass from. But James Newton Howard, yeah, I mean, he's very melodic, very. Yeah,
He
so I
sets
can.
a mood, He really does. He has a mood with his music. I love it.
So, if would a dream gig for you to be to compose or score a film, or have you already done that?
I would love to film or do film composing. I mean, I would do anything with music. Really. Okay. But no, I've never done that before.
Oh,
so,
wow.
If there's any filmmakers out there who want to reach out, I would do that, of course.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's almost like the music needs to feel like almost the reverse of a movie where the focal point is the music, but there could be this backstory of a film and the visual behind it.
Yeah. Wow. So not only do you do the music for your albums and your concept, but you also do all the art and photography as well. So
Correct.
is that is that something that you were trained to do, or you just do it on? I mean, because this is quality stuff here. So,
thank you very much. I just did it. You know, I really didn't do any training or anything like that. I mean, I did go to school for media, so I do have some background in it, but I just naturally gravitate toward anything artistic, and it was not a challenge for me. It was actually quite fun.
Yeah.
And I think because I do so much naturally, I'm so naturally independent, it's very easy for me to just naturally do all of it myself.
So you're independent. You do everything. I defy Paul McCartney to do as much as you're doing. Yeah, Maka. So have you collaborated with anyone? Are you willing to collaborate with anyone if the project's right? I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
There's your question.
There's my question.
That's a tough
So
one.
we always have to ask one hard question.
Yeah, this is a tough question for me. I've actually been asked many times to collaborate.
Mm-hmm.
I really struggle with collaboration because I so often want to just take my own path with it, and I just don't naturally think in terms of us. I just very naturally think in terms of where I'm going, and it's hard for me to do anything that's not personal. And if somebody else is writing the music and I have to just collaborate with them, it doesn't feel as personal for me. I'm very introverted, and it's not to say that I wouldn't do it. You know, like if I really felt the song was right for the sound I establish, I might be open to it. It's just I haven't really tackled that one yet.
Okay. Well, what you're doing on your own is fantastic. So
thank you so much.
We're getting down to kind of the end of the line, as it were. Is there anything that you anything you want to talk about? Anything that we didn't ask about? I have one more question for you as we're done with this, but is there anything that you want to mention, shout out?
Right. So, end of the line, this song for me is the easiest for me to have written. It fell out of me very naturally. And it kind of, for me, it breaks up into 3 different parts. And I want people to feel that they are going through a story with the song, kind of from a wistful state to a more exuberant state. And in general with Andromeda, it's really about the vision, the mirage, the fantasy. I want people to be taken away with the album. You want to feel that you're in a weightless zone where there is no sense of time, no sense of gravity whatsoever, that you are really just lofting above all of the weight of reality. And that's what I am about as a musician, as an artist, and I really hope people enjoy it.
Yeah, I can't see that there was. So if they want to enjoy this, if they want to get a copy of this album or any of your merchandise or artwork, how can they do that?
They can find me at andromedatheartist.com, and that'll link back to my social media pages and as well as my merchandise page. I'm also on iTunes. I'm on pretty much every streaming platform. I'm not on Spotify though. I probably will be before long. I haven't decided how I feel about Spotify yet. And I will hopefully be performing this coming spring.
Oh. Whether it's in Williamsport or New York, please keep us apprised of where you're playing because we will plug it.
Totally.
And
so
I may
much.
even make a road trip to go to New York to see you play.
That
just
would
because
be
I would
awesome.
I'm so intrigued now to get out there and see you play. We have been sitting down with Andromeda, and let me from from a personal standpoint, this is my first cold interview for this podcast. I have never met Andromeda before today, and so I was a little trepidation, like, I've never met this person. How's it going to go? It has went swimmingly. Thank you so much for coming by. Thank you for being so gracious with your time. And
thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh,
it's been really fun.
It's my pleasure. So we are going to play out with an appropriate song from Andromeda's album, Firewater, and this is called End of the Line, and we'll see you next time on the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast. Thank you so much for listening to the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast. Thank you for devoting a little bit of your time to learning about the diverse and eclectic music scene here in the central Pennsylvania Susquehanna Valleys. From Danville to Bloomsburg, down to Northumberland, up to Williamsport, Lock Haven, State College, back down to Lewisburg, Sunbury and Selinsgrove. We have a wide variety of local music artists, and we hope that you enjoy getting to know them a little bit. You can listen to the Rec Room Radio Hour each week on WXPIRadio.org, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And while you're at WXPIRadio.org, make a contribution to help fund and keep our community radio station strong and vibrant. Until next time, don't fret, stay tuned, and play nice.